first and foremost, it's been an outstanding first season for you at Brentford Football Club. How would you sort of describe your time under Thomas Frank so far, and what the club might be capable of achieving in the next month or so?
No, but first of all, it's been a very positive season, as you said. I had 2 months where I were injured, which were a bit tough to be outside and watch the team, and that was where we had our tough spell during this season as well. I think we had like 5 or 6 draws in a row and 2 losses, and that was our tough period. And it was tough for me to sit outside and watch it. But yeah, that's injuries is a part of the football, so it's just to accept it and work hard and try to push and help the guys from the outside. But those 2 months before the Corona break was quite hard. But apart from that, it's been a very good season. I mean, we have everything to play for at the moment, and some interesting weeks coming ahead.
Yeah, you obviously really enjoyed yourself at Leeds United. You had 3 seasons there. I think 2 of which you were pushing for promotion. How disappointing was it, Pontus, for your time to end there and obviously join Brentford? How would you describe that process of being sold by Marcelo Bielsa and ending up at Brentford? It seems to have worked out well for you, but what was your sort of take on that?
I mean, now it's been more or less 1 year since it happened, so I start not to forget it, but I start to forget it. I mean, how it ended was very sad, especially how we lost in the playoff, and I was injured and I didn't play. It was just everything ended so quickly, you know. And then 1 month later, I signed for Brentford. So it was a lot of things happened last summer, but yeah, now this is a new chapter. I said it from day one in Brentford. This is a new chapter, and I want to achieve things here instead. And like I said, we have some interesting weeks to looking forward to, and that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. And top game tomorrow, and we have everything to win, everything to play for. So it's just, I mean, everything is just positive at the moment.
Yeah, obviously, Thomas Frank seems a very meticulous manager. How would you compare him to Bielsa in terms of their methods and training schedules and things like that?
Yeah, they're a little bit different, of course. I mean, Marcelo is never going to be that close with his players as Thomas are. We have like a group of 5-6 players that are more or less have a dialogue and conversation with Thomas every day here at Brentford. That's not Marcelo's leadership and how he believes in things. But technically and football-wise, they're quite similar. They believe a lot in like analyze and prepare well for the games. I can't see that Thomas are as preparing as Marcelo. I mean, he watch like football 24 hours a day. But Thomas prepares very well, and his knowledge is very good about football and the tactic perspective. So they're quite similar in football-wise, but as persons, they're quite different.
Yeah. Just a final one from me, please, Pontus. I know you've still got friends at Leeds. Would it be almost a bit of a dream scenario for you to help Brentford to the Premier League and perhaps even play against Leeds next season in the Premier League?
I mean, when I left and when I came here, I said to the friends I had here that hopefully we both of us can go up. And now it is possible, either if we go up to playoff or direct promotion. But I mean, the dream would be that, yeah, both we and Leeds go up. I mean, I left Leeds, but Leeds is still a part of my football life, and I follow them. And like you said, I have friends both in of the coaches and the players. And of course, I want them to success, not on our behalf, but if us and them can go up, that would be nice.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, Hector. Hector, you up? Yeah, we got Alan next.
Hi, Pontus. Can I just ask, first off, there was this sort of theory when football resumed that the break may have done Brentford, it was a bigger kind of benefit to them than other clubs because the sort of form had dipped slightly and a lot of players kind of looked tired. There were a few injuries. Is that something you've agreed with? And obviously the results, the 3 games since, would suggest there was some truth in that.
Yeah, I mean, we had some injuries before the Corona break, and but yeah, I mean, the last game we had before the Corona break, we beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-0 at home, so our form was absolutely going in the right way. But I mean, this break, suited us well. I mean, all our injured players came back. We're working really hard since day one, more or less. So our aim and our preparation has always been that we will finish the season, and that started from more or less day one when the Corona break started. And like I said, we worked really hard, both individuals and then in small groups of 5, and then now the last month in full contact training with the whole group. So we are really putting everything that we can since day one.
In terms of the sort of your past experiences at Leeds and the sort of almost getting over the line in terms of promotion, is that something you feel you need room now, or is it something you kind of have thrown kind of a line through and you look at it very, very differently?
I mean, I've been in this position before, and more or less only me in this team have been in this position before, which I think is also good. I mean, the other young players we have here now, they're just going out and play as normal. So I don't think that how big it can be to be promoted, which can be good as well. So they can let me think and they can let me analyze everything, and then they just go out and play, which is what they're best at. But yeah, of course, I'm talking to the more experienced players that we have here, like Henrik and Christian and the other players that I have close to me as in my role as captain. The younger players, at least, more like just go out and play and do what you're good at, and so far has been good.
Have any of those younger players sort of come and asked you about those experiences in terms of, or are we still at such an early stage where there's still several games to go? It's, we haven't reached that point yet.
I think our goal the whole season has been either top 6 or top 2. So I said when I came in, like, there's no meaning for us to talking about top 6. Then it's better to just talk about top 2. And I think at the moment it's obviously even a bigger reason for us about top 2, because now it's not in our hands, but I mean it's possible for us now to be top 2. So like I said, before the game against West Bromwich, I mean, if we win that game, then everything is possible. And now we play against Reading tomorrow. If we win that one, then it's only 2 points when West Bromwich go out and play against Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday. So we're chasing them, and we will do until the last game of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Tom, do you want to jump in next?
Hi, Pontus.
Hi.
Hello. You were talking there about the not focusing on the top 6 but the top 2. Was it really that Friday night? Was that the one that really gave you the belief that it could be the top 2, that you can go up automatically?
I think after the Fulham game, we were talking a bit, me and Christian and Henrik, and said to win nine straight games in Championship is really hard, but to win the next game, that's really possible. So if you have that in your mind all the time, to just win the next game, then to win 9 games in a row, it's possible. Of course, it's tough, and it's not. I think that a lot of teams do, but I mean, to have focus on the next one, I think from now on we're gonna be favourites in every game we're gonna play. So why can't we then go out and win every game? So to have that in our mind from now on, to just go out and do everything you can, and hopefully then we can win. That's something that we have done good the whole year, and if we lose, then you just have to focus to win the next one, which you also have been very good at the whole season. So I think we don't need to change anything. We just need to go out, work hard, and do what we're good at, and hopefully the result will be in our favour.
You mentioned as well earlier about the group that Thomas speaks to pretty much every day, of about 5-6 players. Who's in that group?
It has been me, Henrik, Christian, and David from day one. And now there's, I mean, some of those younger players that developed a lot during this season, like Ollie, and even like players like Said that are not very fluent in English, but he's also very involved in everything. So more or less every player that have been regular started during this season is in that group, and everything had a word to say, and Thomas listened to everyone, not only Thomas, even the whole staff. So everyone is very involved in this club, which is a good leadership from Thomas that I like.
And you were kind of talking earlier, which is really fascinating, about the contrast, the differences between him and Marcelo. Is having that daily human contact with him, has it felt really kind of crucial to the success?
I don't know. I mean, Marcelo is very successful with Leeds at the moment, so his way of leadership is good as well. So, but I mean, this is a leadership that Scandinavian people like I am are very used to. I mean, I've been close to my coach since I started to play football, and I like that, to have a conversation with him. I started to get used to work with Marcelo last year, and at the end of the season, I was like, yeah, that's just how it is. I would like to talk to Marcelo every day because he has so much to learn me. But that's how he is. He didn't want to talk to me, so I just had to accept it. I appreciate now that Thomas wants to talk to me every day.
What did you saying about obviously what you kind of learned from Marcelo? What was the biggest kind of thing you think you learned from him?
I mean, so much. I mean, I think I had my best season so far as an individual last year. My individual performances last year was really good. I think this year I've developed a lot as a person, as a captain, and how I help in my team. So maybe my individual performance this year hasn't been top and as I used to be, but I think I've helped this team so much in other ways. So, but yeah, I learned so much from Marcelo last year, like how to think about football both on the pitch and off the pitch. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that. I think that he knows that I'm very thankful of everything I learned from him.
And just last one from me, Pontus, was you were talking about the experience that you've had of being at this stage before. Have you felt kind of that your teammates and the Thomas have lent on you for that experience quite a lot in the last, going through lockdown and in the last sort of week or so?
No, I think you have to ask them to get the answer of that question. But I think in my role as a captain, I want to be involved in a lot of things and be the link between the staff and the players. And I'm very interested in everything. Like I have a tight dialogue with the fitness coach. I believe a lot in that perspective of the football, and that's coming from Marcelo and how he looks at football. So me and my relationship with the fitness coach are very tight, and we talk more or less every day about we're going through the GPS reports after the game and how much we ran and things. And if you look at those things, we developed a lot if you compare to the first games that we had this season. We ran so much. It's more or less the same figures and numbers as Leeds had and what we had last year. So I like to be involved in a lot of things. And if they don't want me to be involved, I think they will tell me. But so far it has been good.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pontus.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Blake.
Hi, Pontus.
Hi.
Obviously, it was unfortunate that last season you were injured for the playoffs with Leeds. Do you get the feeling that this time around with a different side, with Brentford, that you have some unfinished business in that respect?
Yeah, that's really how it is. I mean, this is the third time, and hopefully this is the time where I can success. But yeah, last year, I mean, how it ended that I was injured and couldn't play the last two games after playing more or less every minute the whole season was very, very tough. Especially, I wasn't ready for it either. I mean, when we scored I don't know if you remember, when we scored 1-0 at Ellen Road at the end of first half in the second game against Derby, I thought, okay, this is done. I mean, we're at Wembley. And then 45 minutes later, I was more or less in my car going home, and then the day after home in Sweden. So everything ended so quickly. So yeah, that's really how I feel now. I think this is the third time. Hopefully, I can be successful this time.
You spoke in a previous interview about at the end of last season, feeling a bit more mentally tired than physically tired. How has lockdown this time around helped you to regroup mentally?
Yeah, I mean, all of us, we had not a lot, but we had some couple of injuries before the Corona break. A lot of players have played a lot of minutes, like Rico Henry, left back, he hadn't played more or less like 10 games in his whole life, and now he played like 26, 27 games in a row. So that's, of course, that the injuries were coming closer and closer before the Corona break. But now we had more or less 2 months off where all of us could recover and then start to work quite hard from day one when we get individual training and individual programs. So I think when we then came into training, when was it, five weeks ago, everyone was not in 100% shape, but more or less, and we could start to train really hard from day one. First in individual trainings, and then in small groups of 5, and then 3 weeks ago was it full contact training with the whole group. So every session has been good, and every session has have a meaning since more or less day one since we came back.
Thomas Frank said earlier this season that yourself has one of the largest, one of the few personalities in football with a large voice, both on the pitch and off the pitch. And perhaps we can see that with Brentford having a much larger win percentage when you are playing compared to when you aren't playing. How much you have to put your individuality aside to help support your team and your teammates?
But like I said, this is probably the thing that I developed most this season. I mean, I used to be the one always in the spotlight, and I was looking for and searching for being in the spotlight. But now I don't even care about that anymore. Like before, I was always like analyzing my own performances and see like what can I do better. But now instead of that, I'm more looking at like the collective teamwork and how we defend as a group and as a team, and have a tight dialogue with the defensive coach we have here. And, like those things you said, like the wins percentage and the clean sheets and the win percentage that we have when I'm playing, this is more like credit I can take than just looking at my own performances. I mean, absolutely no problem to have like my partner Ethan Pino getting all the spotlights because he's absolutely beast and a fantastic player. So for me, it's just nice. I'm just happy that he's getting all this praise and all these positive words. I don't of course, I mean, it's nice to hear that people say that you're good, but for me, it's more important that people talking about Brentford, such a solid unit and we defend well. These are things that I can take credit of instead. So that's something that maybe I learned since, with my experience and with my age, starting to get old now.
When you came to England first, you talked about making a name for yourself, and actually the number of bookings that you've received has gradually decreased season upon season. Would you say that you've developed a maturity and a more controlled aggression, and that your game has adapted in that way?
Yeah, for sure. I think that started to happen already last year when Marcelo came in and he like forcing me to be a better person both on and off the pitch, and not. I mean, it felt like my first 2 seasons I was like looking to get booked every game. Like I wanted to have a fight with the player, with like a dialogue with the referee, and those silly, stupid things. And I don't know this, but yeah, I think like I learned a lot last year with Marcelo, and now here I'm captain and I'm older and more experienced. I think I learned and. But shared a lot, like you said. I mean, I'm a father now of a little girl, so I have to set the statement and be a good father as well. So yeah, I think this comes with the age and with the experience, and I think this is a better version of Pontus.
Thanks, Pontus. Cheers.
Thanks.
Yeah, hi Pontus. Just one from me. Obviously talking a lot about Thomas Frank and the human contact. Every time we've met him, he's very measured, very analytical, but there's a warmth to him. Do you think that, obviously you've mentioned you've adapted quite a lot this season under him? Do you think that the personality of him and his persona bringing a sense of calmness and tranquility has really kind of fed into the change that we've seen you as a player and as a person as well?
I mean, Thomas is obviously one of the head reasons why I signed for Brentford. I mean, when I was talking to my agent and talked about other clubs in Championship, the first one I had a meeting with was Thomas. And like I said, when I signed for Brentford, Thomas sold his concept and Brentford's concept in very well, because I was sold more or less after 10 minutes talking to Thomas. And so far, it hasn't been wrong decision. But like you said, I've learned so much from Thomas. He's so calm, but he's so analytically very well in how he looked at things, both on and off the pitch, and in football and outside of football. So, like I said, I learned a lot from him to be more calm and try to solve situations with calmness instead of with maybe anger and my angerness that I had before. So yeah, I learned a lot from him, and I can't say that he's my best coach, but he's absolutely up there as one of the best coaches I had.
Just a bit of a funny one. I had to smile about you saying sort of Bielsa sort of starting to make you feel be a better person in some of the stuff, and that he obviously won an award, a FIFA award for sporting gestures after stopping, letting Aston Villa score. Is that something you want to emulate? A FIFA award for good sportsmanship and that, or where would that rank compared to playoff or promotion?
Yeah, I mean, that Aston Villa incident was more or less, I was the only one that didn't follow the fair play rule. So yeah. It's not the award that I won, if you say like that. But I mean, if that happened this year, I would 100% act in a different way. But like I said, when you're playing Leeds United, you can't, and when you're on the pitch, you can't think clearly. That was how I felt my 3 years in Leeds. But I mean, when I came in the dressing room afterwards and looking at it again, and in a game that more or less didn't count, I mean, we were in third anyway. So I should just let them score, and it was nice of Marcelo to do what he did.
Cheers, Pontus. Apologies for my beard; it's not as styled as yours.
It's all right, no problem.
Do you like to do anything for the chat? Okay. So Paul, We'll now go back to your bit, Paul, if you want to start off with the Sky part.
Thanks very much, Pontus. Apologies if some of this has been repeated. I'm just keen to know what's been the key to such a good restart for Brentford, particularly in the last couple of weeks with wins against Fulham and West Brom.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we have been defensively very solid. I think we have given away like 2 chances in 2 games. I mean, 2 high-quality chances in 2 games against probably the 2 best offensive sides in the league, which is a credit to us. And we believe a lot in, like, if we can just keep a clean sheet, and we will always, or more or less always, score a goal with the offensive players that we have. So that gives us confidence. Just stay in the game all the time. That's a mantra that I have on the pitch and scream. I don't know if you've been there, but if you're on the stadiums where we play, I will scream a lot, like, stay in the game, because that's really how it is. If you just stay in the game and defend well, we'll probably always get a chance to score a goal, and then hopefully we can get away with 3 points. So that's really how it is. We're defensively very solid at the moment, and hopefully we can keep on being that.
And just how aware are the players of what kind of achievement promotion to the Premier League for a club like Brentford would be this season?
Exactly, that's what I mean. I think that younger players in this squad don't understand how big it is, which we should keep it like that. Just tell them to go out on the pitch and do what they're good at. I think that's enough, and then they can let the older persons and like Matthew, the owner, and everyone else thinking about other things. We should just go out on the pitch and do what we're good at, and hopefully that will be a successful way of this season.
What have you said to any of your former Leeds teammates in recent weeks as sort of this promotion race begins to hot up?
Yeah, I mean, I have a tight dialogue with a couple of them, and I've been said the whole season that we're going to chase them until the end. I said before the Fulham game, try to put some pressure on them, but yeah, they went out and won 3-0, so it wasn't the best. But yeah, I've said, I mean, I've talked to them a lot, both staff and players, and both me and them have said that the best would be that we and them going up together would be the dream. So during the whole season, I've said, I mean, I can't sit here and say that I hope to at least go up. But now when we're getting closer and closer, I can see that, yeah, I hope we and them going up. I mean, now they're 8 points ahead of us, which will be tough to hunt them down. But we have every chance to hunt down West Bromwich. And if we can't do that, then hopefully we can get to playoff. But yeah, like I said, the dream would be that we and them go up together.
And just a final one, the fact you have beaten Fulham and West Brom in recent weeks, do the players now talk about that actively as each week goes past, or well, each 4 days goes past now, the games coming thick and fast? Do you actively talk to each other about, right, we are going to get automatic promotion? Is it talked about much, or is it just a case of getting on with things?
I think before Fulham and after Fulham, of course, when we won, we said, like, of course, now we'll just be stupid if we don't look for top 2. And after West Bromwich, of course, then there's a bigger reason to look for it. But we had a discussion after the Fulham game to say, like, I don't know if you heard it before, but to win nine straight games in Championship is very tough. Probably there's not a lot of teams that can do it. But you can always win your next game, which is a possibility. So, like I said, we are probably going to be the favorite in every game from now on. So yeah, why can't we just then go out and win every game? Of course, it will be tough, but that's something we have to aim for. Reading on Tuesday, tomorrow will be very tough, but I mean, we can win it, so why can't we dream? So that's just the mantra we have: to go out and win the next game, and then see how far we can come with that.
Pontus, thanks very much.
Thank you.